Hi YouTube, and this is JTrain997, and I'm back this time with my first review of the G.I. Joe Retaliation line. And this is of course going to be Snake Eyes, much the way I started Rise of Cobra with a Snake Eyes review. Now these are actually still not out at a lot of stores, unless you've got that store Mayors in your area. I don't know how to say it. I don't have those apparently. I live in the southeast where apparently they do not have those stores. They actually started putting these on shelves early May. Their street date is actually May the 28th. And having, I work in Target, and I can tell you these things aren't in the back room yet, or you guys would have seen reviews already. But first and foremost, I hate this card. They really said they wanted to reimagine the line with this one, and I just don't like this card. Now, it's not terrible, but let's get a quick comparison in here. It's just not traditional G.I. Joe for me. Here we have Sci-Fi from the 30th anniversary line. Usually, in most G.I. Joe lines, you get a actual drawn image of the character. Here you just get an actual picture of the figure and its action gimmick. Not to mention in this line, you also get differentiations between, well, not in all lines, but in the last one where it's either Cobra or Joe. Where in this line, you usually just get the same old packaging, same characters and everything. So that's unfortunate, but, it's not an end-of-the-world scenario. Now, besides that, it does look like they've completely nixed the base. More on that later. But, with the action, at the end of the day, you have to admit, this is a line aimed at kids, like the 30th was a line aimed at collectors more than kids. So you're going to have to take it with a grain of salt. Hopefully some of the later lines will have some more collector-themed figures. Now, his action gimmick is this zip line. I think it says it has, 5 feet of zip line. He's got these wings that come off his pack. We'll be having a better look at that when he's out of the packaging. He looks like he's also got a gun and his sword. And there's also no file card on the box anymore. There's a little read-up over here. And there's a small read-up about Snake Eyes up here. And it says, Snake Eyes is the world's greatest ninja and secret weapon of the G.I. Joe team. He uses his ninja zipline launcher to soar into aerial battle against the evil forces of Cobra. With his mysterious Arishikage ninja skills and arm-mounted twin missile launchers, he is an unstoppable fighting force in the land or on the land or in the air. Wings fire missiles. Okay, so I guess the wings have some sort of missile launcher I'm not seeing on them. Back here you've got some random poses you can put Snake Eyes in. Over here, Cobra Trooper, Duke, and Roadblock. Advertising a few more of the figures. A little advertising for the Collectors Club down there. See, I'm not big on the packaging, but I can make peace with it. That being said, let's open him up. And here we have Snake Eyes out of packaging. Now, he has everything but his zipline gear, and we'll be having a look at that later in the review. Now, he does come without a base. That is a huge letdown. If there's one thing a G.I. Joe figure desperately needs, it's a base. Now, as you can see here, I have him on Captain Ace base, actually, from the Sky Striker. I'm definitely going to have to pick up a few more of these, because I just can't have these guys display without them. Now, that's not to say anything bad about the figure, because this is actually a surprisingly well-done Snake Eyes. Of course, he's got his, gun. Now, I was a little disappointed to see that Retaliation, a lot of the guns are getting this kind of ridiculously unreal paint job. Duke's got an orange grenade launcher, Snake Eyes has got this blue, whatever it is. Black or silver, guys. Black or silver. But that can bite you, like on a sword here, where the sword is just all black. I believe it should be silver. Although there is some pretty nice detailing on it. You can see the notches there. So, nice little job on the sword. Zooming back out. Well, let's actually get Snake Eyes on Captain Ace's base here. At the very least, they did leave the peg holes in their feet, so we can attach them to a base if we've already got one, which I'm definitely happy to see. So, there is no sheath with Snake Eyes. That's kind of unfortunate. Usually every figure gets a sheath. But the actual detail on him is pretty great. You can see there, he's of course got no mouth, which is great to see. I'm really loving all the details in his armor. All the folds and notches. Of course you can see the Arishikage Ninja Clan symbol on over there. Folds in his pants, his boots. Just a superb looking figure. And if you had an extra sheath, you can peg it on. So, zooming back out. Now, as far as articulation, that's another thing. In this line, articulation is apparently going to be drastically cut down on some figures. Now, they said the ninjas are pretty much going to keep the full range, but figures like Roadblock and others are going to have single-jointed knees, waist joints, things like that. But, as you can see here, Snake Eyes does a full 360 at the head, some very slight up and down. Arms are on a ball joint, go out, full 360, bend and spin at the elbow, spin, and, yep, we've even still got a hinged wrist, so that's great. Of course, the ab joint is a little loose for my taste, but not horrible. He does a full 360, a little bit of a crunch. Legs go forward, back, and out. Are double joint at the knee, and have a surprisingly nice ankle joint with ankle pivot. Always fantastic. So the articulation on this Snake Eyes is superb. It's really a shame that every figure in this line isn't going to get the same kind of treatment from what we've been told, but it's a real shame, but at the very least, we'll have a few that have got some pretty awesome articulation. Speaking of articulation, apparently the vehicle drivers are going to have incredibly minute articulation, but I haven't gotten any of the vehicles as of yet. Might have to wait till closer to street date to get those. So, that being said, let's actually get him posed here. And let's actually take a look at his action feature real quick. And here we have Snake Eyes demonstrating his zipline ability on my wall of deer heads and a boar. But as you can see, it's actually pretty long. And you do get this handy dandy little instruction sheet of different ways you can set it up, how to set the actual backpack up, etc., etc. And he, I guess zips on it well enough. If not in slow increments. So, there's how the zip line works. You can see the anchor point up there on that buck. Over there, the other one's attached to that buck. And so on. So that being said, let's get a better look at his backpack. And here's a better look at Snake Eyes and his glider, zipline pack, whatever they want to call it. It does have the Arishikage Ninja Clan logo front and center on there. And it does have two little handles. Although it's kind of irritating to make him hold him, and he holds the weapons so well already. I don't really want to stretch the hands out to make him grip these things, but I suppose you could if you wanted to. Now there's a little button right here on either one. Makes that part shoot off. Of course, just another little gimmick. And the backpack itself does have storage. You can line the different pegs and such up. Of course, you can put the big claw right back here in the center. So it looks equally ridiculous, but it's there. These are actually kind of... It's a very, very soft plastic. The pieces popped off a lot when I was attaching it, but it is kind of a ball joint, so you can spin it around, different poses. And the actual hooks are just back here, which slide off easy enough. Snake Eyes does peg into it, so he stays better. So at the end of the day, this is going in another big pile. I'm sure I'll have just as big a pile of giant rocket launchers and glider packs as I did with the actual rocket launchers themselves by the end of Rise of Cobra. But that being said, let's actually get some comparisons in here to the previous Snake Eyes movie figures. And here we have Retaliation Snake Eyes besides Rise of Cobra Snake Eyes and G.I. Joe Pursuit of Cobra Snake Eyes. And I've got to say, I wasn't big on this version, and you can tell he's actually the smallest of the three. I didn't really like the design. I thought the figure was okay, but nothing to really brag about. His articulation was actually less than this Snake Eyes, and I think he got the same generic little, he got a rocket launcher, but I think other than that, he just got his sword and his machine gun. And let's actually get him back on his base, which he just popped off of. He did get a base, to his credit, and on his back he does have a sword sheath. So, that's up there. Now, the Pursuit of Cobra line is something that will be sorely missed by the collectors in the upcoming month. And through the course of the Retaliation line, I'm sure. This is pretty much one of the most ideal Snake Eyes you can have right now. He gets expensive on eBay. But I've got to say, this guy is a great figure, even in comparison. I still think I prefer this guy more, but this Snake Eyes, he's got his cons. Some of his articulation's a tiny bit loose. He has no base, and he has no sheath, and his weapon got a cartoony paint job. But the articulation on this guy is top-notch, even if the other figures in this line aren't going to be. I'm absolutely digging the detail, the Ninja Clan, his sword. I mean, This is a must-have Snake Eyes. Now, I hope you've got an extra base to put him on. But at the end of the day, you definitely need to have this guy in your collection. He's a great figure. We don't know exactly what certain stores are going to be charging it yet. I know Target's going to go $9.99 a piece on these, and even by my own admission, that's a little too much. But I still think this is a must-have figure, and that being said, this is JTrain997 saying I'll see you soon, YouTube.